Okay. Okay. Good morning, guys. So first of all, sorry for being late. Got held up with a lot of traffic, and I think also there's miscommunication with the timings. Sorry for keeping you guys wait. How many guys you have seen me here before? Literally, no one. Okay. So just to do a ground check, I'll be telling about myself. But where are you guys from actually? Nearby. Oh, that is nearby. Okay. Uh, Besides street. Ah, that is nearby. Anyone nearby? Anyone away from just to explore the data science? You guys have left your house, come here, staying in Hyderabad, having fun. Okay, where are you from? Madhya Pradesh. That's great, man. Kerala. Malayali. Proper Malayali. എവിടെ നാട്ടിൽ? Kannur. So I used to live in Palakkad for 1 year. My mom is from Kerala. So, who was someone said? Odisha. That's great. Anyone? You, ma'am? Yes. Kakinada. So clearly, for data, everyone has come from left places and come here and exploring it, right? Okay. Same thing that applies to me. I am not from Telangana or Andhra Pradesh. I'm from Tamil Nadu. So obviously, with English I speak or with I can try speaking Telugu because not Telugu is my mother tongue. But still, I grew up a lot of my time in Tamil Nadu. So I'm from Chennai. Okay, so I'm giving a post kind of thing. Wait, is this affecting? Okay, so yeah, so you guys didn't get my name. What's my name? Yes. Okay, so you got my name after a year coming here, or is someone told you before? So I had to just by looking at it. Okay, so yeah, no surprises. Okay, to tell about me, I am living in Hyderabad right now, but my full name is Jaya Surya, and I'm come from Chennai. So majority of time I lived in Tamil Nadu. To talk about myself, I'm a commerce graduate from Loyola College, Chennai. So I graduated in the corporate specialization. And so any non-technical background guys here? Which one, sir? Yeah, I'm as a validity analyst. Validity analyst. But which was you did engineering, but yeah. Okay. Any you, sir? You someone raised your hand? BCom. BCom. That's great. So yeah, a fellow BCom. So I did my commerce bachelor's, and once I'm done with the college, I kind of got into a campus recruitment of ICICI Bank as a investment banker. Then I made my way into the sales and marketing. Then COVID happened, as usual. So I had to come out of it and join another company as a full marketing executive. Then that is the time that I was understanding that why I was able to work well in both the banks and the marketing. Well, when I understood that, I was without realizing myself, I was good with the data, collecting the data, at least good with maintaining the data in Excel. Something was like I was able to outperform well. When I was in the bank, I was having a target of 4 crore per month. So 4 crores per month. Okay. So in order to do that, I need to build the pipelines. When I say pipelines, leads and all. So what I used to do is that every customer interact, I'll just put that in Excel, dump in Excel. And what I used to do is that every then and now I just go to the account and used to check it. That's how I used to do it. And then I was able to analyze the transactions between the first to the 10th, what kind of a transaction the customer made. 11th and 21st and 31st, what kind of a transaction the customer makes. I would, whenever the salary credited the customer, I would give him the call. So that customer will give me the business. So intentionally, without kind of an intention, I was doing this. Then later only I understood that I was all able to do because I was looking at the data, but I didn't know that that is called data. How long, for example, when did you got to know that you heard a name of data? When do you got to know it? Huh? BTech. Because someone was telling data, right? But before itself, you guys were handling the data, but you wouldn't know that you guys were handling the data. You still can see me, right? You still can hear me, right? If I'm not loud, please tell me. So that's it about me. So I thought I was good with data. I was like, why don't I try this as a full-time passion and profession? So I kind of got into a same like where you guys here. I was there some in 2020, 21. I was there. And so when I say 2021, it's like, oh, utna purana hai wo. And that kind of a reaction it gave. Yeah, I'm old, but yeah. So yeah, not that old. I can still resonate with you guys. So I was just like this, learning the courses. But the only thing is I had to be more cautious because I'm of a non-technical background, the BCom guys. So because a lot of mathematical terminologies or a lot of engineering terminologies that you guys talk, I may not know. Still, I may not know. But I had to spend some extra time and know myself about it. That's it. But other than that, when it comes to data, there's no difference between a technical guy and a non-technical guy, an engineer guy and a non-engineering guy. Everything comes around it. And at the end of the session, you'll get to know why I talk like that. Okay. So to talk about my expertise, right? I have a good intelligence, business intelligence. I work in a business intelligence part, which is mostly a Power BI SQL, right? So I mostly work in the business intelligence part, and now I'm kind of in a data engineering. And as usual, the world allows, I'm stepping into the AI. Okay, stepping into the AI, and everyone, not anyone here, if you say that I'll only start with the data analyst and not the AI, can anyone say? Will anyone say that? Why? So, what is the difference between a data analyst and a data scientist and an AI guy? Obviously, you guys are here to get a job as a data analyst or a data scientist or a data engineer or the AI engineer. What is the difference between someone calls it a data analyst and data scientist and data engineer or AI engineer? Hmm. Okay. So I would tell like that. Entire thing is a building, the building that we live. Without a ground floor, without a first floor, you can't go for second floor, right? So data analysis is the first part. Data science is second part. And eventually everyone in any organization in the future part works for that AI enablement. For that AI enablement, you need data to analyze. You need a scientist to give the model, train the model. Obviously, you guys know the training the models, testing the models with this now terminal. So just do a ground check. What are the technology stacks that you guys? Is it a mixed batch or is it a learning batch? Mixed batch. So which step that you guys are in right now? Sorry? Discrete stack. So you guys are first. Recent. So Python is done, not it? Not that. So for everyone, Excel is done, right? No. Stats is done. Stats are ongoing. SQL? Fresh batch. This wow. Debutant case. So I'm a debutant kind of a thing? Yeah. First session it was. On the EDA. On EDA. Okay. So I have to live better then. I'll do my best. Okay. So as I told you, I did like same like I just did a PG program in data science in Great Lakes, Chennai. Okay. The same like you guys, how you guys were, I was there. And I was talking about difference between a data analyst and data scientist and the AI engineer, right? This session is the code for it. Okay, this session is gonna be a code for anything that you're gonna step out of. Okay, and I'll tell you what. To tell about myself, I'm more than anything, like a data or like more than anything, I like storytelling. I like storytelling. So I also write novels, not normal non-fiction books, motivation books and all. Sure. I write novels. I write short stories. I publish short stories. I am a writer by myself. I'm a poet in everything in Tamil, not in English, okay, or not in any other language. So I also did my best trying to getting into cinema field acting, like many of you would have done. So I'm very passionate about cinema. I'm very passionate about story. I'm very passionate about acting. Larrington is my best actor. It's like I'm sure you can understand. Uh, so I love acting. So then and now I do my short films. I put it on Instagram. So it's like apart from the profession, I love doing something for my passion. So everyone should have that passion. It's like and some over the time, data has become my passion. Anything I do, I kind of relate to the data. I kind of tune my mind, kind of a thing. I'll tell you why with it. Okay. Okay. So for what I've told you, is my flow better? Is my pace better? Do you want me to go fast? Don't be boring. Go fast, or do you want me to be slow? Be open. This is session for you guys. Is my flow better? Can anyone understand last bench guys? Right? Okay. Okay. That's about enough about me. Okay. So let me go with an important topic. Okay. So whenever I'm getting deep into it. So follow this is some you can see some 31, 34 topics. It's gonna be very boring. I'll make my sure that it's gonna be interesting. We're gonna talk. Okay? If you guys gonna talk, not gonna talk, I'll make you guys talk. Like picking someone random. I have an as long as I sit here, I have an authority to do it. But don't make me to pick someone and talk. You guys talk. It's gonna be a friendly session that and so I whenever I go for a session, I always tell one thing. To arrive at 5, 2 plus 3 is 5. 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 5. 2 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 5. To arrive 5, I have at least 20 options, right? So, whatever I told you, whatever I'm telling in the session is based out of my experience. Okay, it's based out of my experience. I work in a consulting company. I'm working in a product-based company right now. Okay, I'll go deep on. I've not touched about my company. I'll do it. Okay, but to arrive at the five, we have multiple options. Same like to arrive at something, whatever I'm telling, it's based on my experience. It may not be the same thing that's how other people also do, other professions also do. Once you become a professional, you would do in better way, in different way. So take this input, but don't stick with that. This is the reality. No, reality changes with every people who come and talk here. If I come and say that, okay, I have a better experience than you guys, whatever I say, listen, that doesn't go that way. Probably next year, you guys will be getting into a job. You guys will be knowing better than me. So it's all the time frame that I've started data science some 4 years better than you. For the 4 years before than you, I'm sitting here. If you guys have started from 8 years before than you will be in my boss situation. So it's all the timeline that we're talking about. And but what consider me as your client. At the end of the session, whatever questions you guys have in terms of the data field, in terms of the industry, clear it out with me. And whatever I show you, if you guys have any question, stop it and ask. Don't hold yourself. Okay. I see two, three people having their notes and pens. I really appreciate. I request, I urge everyone to do it. If you guys are so easy to take notes on the phone, I would still encourage. But my point is that this presentation is gonna come to you at least a week later. So, but your hackathon is gonna be from evening, from the afternoon, right? So this will help you guys. Okay. So, no pressure to take notes, but I'm telling that it will be better. Okay. Okay. So when you your name called EDA, Exploratory Data Analysis, what is it that coming in your mind? Anyone? Is the in-depth of data experiment. Digital insight. You anyone else? So when I see a data, doesn't matter it's a table data, it's a structured data, it's unstructured data, it's a semi-structured data. It could be audio, it could be a video. Huh? Image also. Yeah, images also. When I see a data, the first thing that I'll ask is then what is it telling to me? What is this data trying to telling to me? What is this data trying to show that I can pick it from it? So eventually boiling down, what is the story lies in this data? Okay. So again, EDA is not a step that, for example, Python, you first what you do, you import a library into Python. Obviously, so some of you guys already know that how to do work on a Python. You import a library into Python, or in Excel, what you do, you go and save a step. So everything has a step. EDA is not a step. You can even choose not to do a EDA in your projects. But EDA is not a step, it's a process. Okay. So again, don't go with a lot of terms over here. So obviously, if you guys know me, this is at the end of it, this is a Claude build. So I'm not going to focus more on this thing. See, whatever questions you have, you're gonna ask me, you're gonna be asking Claude, and Claude gonna answer better than me, for sure. You guys are using Claude, you guys are using ChatGPT, you guys are using whatever AI tools you guys are using. Huh? Gemini. Yeah, Gemini. Perplexity. So it has some trillions of data GB in its mind and telling answers. I only have some 5 years experience and some friends in Hyderabad, so I can only tell something. But it doesn't have a real-time experience. I have a real-time experience. Okay. So whatever it is, don't go by the name, don't go by the conceptual jargon, and if you have a doubt, tell me. So according to me, EDA is a detective work. You guys agree? Why am I telling you? According to EDA is a detective work. Something is there. It's not telling us openly. We are gonna find it out by doing some our investigation detective skills. How many of you guys are crime thriller fans here? Yeah. So what the most important part of the crime thriller movie or the detective feel is that how he finds it. How he finds it. It links one point or other point with the different twists. Exactly. When he found something that will lead to another situation, another problem. That's how data is. Okay. And John Durkee in 1977 framed EDA as a data detective work, looking at data without assuming you already know what it'll say. So not me, someone already said. I'm just repeating whatever it said. Okay. So look at this flow, guys. Business understanding, data understanding, EDA, modeling, evaluation, deployment. Now, what someone said that data analysis, data scientist, AI. So it all comes in this part, modeling, deployment, and everything. But according to me, the data, what you're looking at it, first, what you need to do is that what kind of a data is it? What is the domain of the data you're looking into it? Let's say that I have a very good knowledge in finance. But if I can go to can I apply my same finance knowledge skills in the healthcare sector data? Different. Why? I have some enormous of 5 years experience in finance. Why can't I go and apply it in healthcare? Different field, different business, different customers, different industry. If in finance, my turnaround is 2 days. But in healthcare, if I say that every insurance claim should be either approved or rejected in 2 days, some 50,000, 20,000 cases will be in gone. Okay. And also to find what problem we are trying to solve. What is the problem statement? A lot of us, okay. Whenever you guys get an Excel file, what will you do? Whenever you got an Excel file, you got Excel or CSV, you open it. What will you do? What are the things that you will do step by step? Need to observe the every variable, what is going on. Okay. Anyone? You will put df dot shape on in a Python kind of a thing. Okay, next. I'll first look at the file name. None of us will look at the file name first. Seriously, whenever you import the data in library, whenever you import the data in EDA, what will you do? Will you ever take a deep look into the file name? Just one or two words, that's it. Is it there will be a date suffix? There will be a final version, there will be a draft version. First, I'll take a look into the data file name. Second, I'll look into it, how big my data is, what are the number of rows and what are the number of columns. That's what he said as a shape. If it is some 20 columns, some 5,000 rows, okay, I'll be like, okay, fine. If it's some 10 lakh rows and some 115 columns, it's like the moment I see that, I'm lost with this data. I don't like this data set. That got be my enemy kind of thing. So it's always depends on how when you get into Excel, then what will you do? Now you got Excel because none of you guys are into Python yet. So I don't want to confuse by saying a lot of Python things. Let's stick with Excel because everyone uses Excel in their life. You got the Excel, you opened it, you look into rows and columns. Next thing, what will you do?
Trying to insert some data.
Insights, get some insights from insert.
Insert.
What do you insert? The data is already there, right? There's nothing to insert. It's gonna be now, unless and until you've been told to change the data, it's only the output that you're getting from the data, no input as of now.
Filter.
Filter?
Yeah.
Filter, yes.
Pattern. Look for some pattern or insight from that.
Pattern or insight from the data, okay. Okay,
Removing duplicates.
okay. So preserve all your answers. By end of the sessions, we'll come to this question again. Let's see if you guys have a better answer at the end of the session. If not, we'll again dwell into it and understand. Okay. So I was telling you, every data set has a story. And the story that hiding a data set, you guys are investigating it and telling it out. So when I say story, what do you guys, you guys may think of why this guy is telling a story? What do you mean by story? The reason why data is fine in the Excel file. Why are we kind of doing some analysis? Why are we kind of doing some prediction, modeling, business intelligence on top of it? Okay.
For the client to understand the data set. For the person to be using things like Power BI.
Anyone?
Understand the business side.
Say partially it is correct. We don't have time to go into it. If at all we had time, in the early 2000s, there's nothing called a visualization tool. They would just go through the data but that would take at least 5 days or 6 days or 7 days for one person. So in order to reduce the time is what we're doing everything. Okay. So before AI tools are coming, there's something called Stack Overflow. Does anyone heard of it?
Yeah.
How many guys? You heard it, ma'am. You? Anyone else? Stack Overflow is like our
Program, if we got any error, we can find that, copy the error and research about the error, and we'll be getting new solution.
someone would come and write a solution for it.
Like Reddit, maybe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now what you guys do, the moment you get an error, the moment you want to rephrase something, you'll type it, you'll just select it, and automatically in the phone, the Ask Gemini, Ask ChatGPT pop-up comes. You'll click it, that'll go to there and learn something. So back then, when I'm stuck with some errors and solutions and all, I'll just go to Stack Overflow. That tool is gone now. No one is using it. Okay. So back then, something called Excel Insights will be there. Back then, something called Excel program will be there. VBA. Before Python works, there's something called Excel VBA. So everything behind the scenes, Excel is the mother of analytics. If someone says that I'm good at Python, I'm good at AI insights, but Excel is not my cup of tea. I would say that I'm sorry, my friend. Better luck next time. During interview, that's what I'll say. So I'll say reject the persons. If someone is not good in Excel, so Excel is a mother of analytics, whether you accept it or not. Go through Excel, see how you can handle the Excels in a better form. Excel program. Excel, when I say Excel program, you don't have to code in Excel and all. What I'm trying to say, use Excel in a better way. Okay. Okay. Now, whatever EDA we're talking about, structured, semi-structured, unstructured. Okay. This session will be mostly focused on structured data. Semi-structured, unstructured, we'll try to step in something. Okay. I mean, now you've already know what define when we say structure, you guys already know that it's about the fixed columns, the rows, the what is relationships here?
Primary key.
Yeah,
Primary to function. Primary to function.
primary to function. Okay. Not your own personal relationship, the data relationship. Someone is like say someone else's relationship is like what relationship you're asking.
Every variable will be having a primary key and it relates to the data, it connects the onto a major structure.
Clearly, some of you guys are not beyond stats. You guys are talking about a proper Python and SQL terminologies now. Okay. So when I say relationship, okay, how to connect one data set and another data set? As simple. How to connect one table and another table? Joins. As simple as that. Okay. So from the semi-structured, what is that we are describing it? What are the semi-structured data that we can do EDA on top of? Have you guys ever worked in JSON?
Yes.
CSV, we can make it as a structure. See, CSV, TSV, okay, all the delimited things, we can flatten it easily. You can make it as a structure. Yeah, it's still a flat file. Okay, so when I say these terminals like flat files, everything and all, make a note of it and research it. What is a flat file is? What is a delimited file is? Make a note of it and you'll research it in later. Okay. For example, have you ever worked in JSON? Have you ever worked with dictionary? Those are the semi-structured. Anything which is not a part of the table could be semi-structured, okay? But it's still as a structure. That's why but it's not a data structure. So that's why we call it as a semi-structure. And unstructured, completely. It's like, for example, what could be examples of unstructured? Tell me. Audio, video, yeah.
Images.
So whenever you submit a feedback, that is comments. You write a long description. You go to YouTube and you put your comments. You go to Instagram and you put your comments. What is it? It's a unstructured data. You cannot. It's a free text unstructured data. It's also data. Okay. So when I think of EDA, this is how I in the sixth structure.
It commits to a structure, right? Like paragraph writing, or some will say bullet points, some will say in different sections.
But comments, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Comments is a textual data, right?
Comments are text data. But like for example, the table, okay, it has a row. It should be a row. It should be a column. Only then it's a table. It's a structured data. Comments can be anything. Like you can have at least you can put at least some 50 lines of spaces and comment it again.
But
you can put
if you see like some tables, they will be adding the column called review, and you need to give that textual data also, right?
Yeah. Though in the structured data you're talking about. My point is then, let's say that when you fill a form, you like how was this movie? Someone is asking you. You fill a form and you put the data. can I look into from that comments column without touching anything? Can I what review what insight I can bring out of it?
After really, like after researching all reviews, you can understand the picture.
When you say analyzing, how do you analyze it? So you're gonna let's say some 5,000 people submitted it. You're gonna read 5,000 comments. Let's say even you are analyzing the data. Okay. Whenever we work on a table, leave this review part, comments part alone. Apart from this comments part, whenever you review, you do analyze on the data, you can get an insight immediately. Like city column, city by count, which city is the highest count. But when it goes for comments, how will you do analysis? Just in top of your mind. As of now, you're gonna read all those 5,000 comments and understand, right?
Yeah.
Is there any other way? If let's say how many people in this room? 30 people, 20 people. 20 people comments, you're gonna if I say 20 people's binary answer, did you like the film? Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. That is a structured answer. If I give a free text, 20 people gonna comment it up. I can count easily how many yes, how many no. But in the comments, it's your sentiment is coming. It's your mind is stuck. How do I analyze it quickly? It takes time, first thing. But it cannot be in a manual way, for sure. That is how many data science techniques comes. We'll look into it also. So when EDA comes, this is how the 6 frames I talk about. Okay? Completeness, accuracy, consistency, validity, uniqueness, timeliness. This is how the industry standard also puts out in the EDA. Okay? What is Dharma? Just a data management. Data management is Dharma. So when we come out of in the industry, lot of jargon words are there. Potato, potato. Simple things they're gonna complicate a lot. Okay, this Dharma is not used anywhere, but except the US people, the Dharma is not used anywhere. Even the US people are not using it, but I'm just telling you. When you go to Claude, when you go to Chat GPT, there's something word gonna come. What the hell is this Dharma? So I'm just putting you guys is that in corporate world, I never used a word called Dharma. But Claude gives me, Chat GPT gives me. So another example, what I would like to give is don't go everything that ChatGPT or Claude gives you. Understand before, make sure you do your own research if it's correct or wrong. Okay. So, but these 6 terminologies, I would say that it's correct. So can anyone for any example, what do you mean by completeness? Hmm.
Fulfill the
Full
fulfill the
fulfill the data. Okay. Okay. What does accuracy means? Perfection. Okay. Consistency. Continuous. Validity. Uniqueness. Okay. Timeliness. So some of these in your language or in the normal language, it could be different word. So I'm just playing out with you guys with the words because some people plays with the words. When I say all these things, these 6 terms are expected to know, but not expected to speak. Okay, but I'll give you examples. So for completeness, starting with completeness. Okay, whenever we saw EDA completeness, it's nothing but a missing values and null values. Okay, can a ID column? Why do we use ID column in all the data sets?
Yeah,
Okay.
to find the location.
Okay. Let's say customer data, sales data, customer data. If for a particular sales, if there's no customer ID, what will happen?
You can't find the customer.
You can't relate that sales to a particular customer. And if that sale has any after the fact, any issue with the product or anything of that, your database is collapsed. Right? So customer ID, if the customer ID is missing or not. So my customer ID column should always be populated. If that is wrong, then my completeness check is wrong. So all these are checks, nothing but a check. For every column, I'll do completeness check or not. But for every column, this completeness needs to be done. That depends on the business. For example, my customer can, let's say I have a departmental store. My customer can walk in and buy everything. So the customer will have a new unique ID. But a customer should be definitely a member. But how do we know it?
Based on the billing.
Based on a billing or based on an ID, system we can know. But the customer should definitely be in Hyderabad. Should we do we need it data? Whenever customer walks in, we need a customer ID. We need the customer whether a member or not. These two information should be there, irrespective of whatever it is. It could be no, it's not a member, but customer ID should be there. But that yes or no and customer ID should be there. Why? Without that, we cannot do analysis. But where is he coming from? We cannot force the customer to get the data. If when I was asking, some of you guys are not sure to tell where you guys are coming from. I couldn't force you guys. If I forced you guys by asking that, okay, where are you from? 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 You will be obviously annoyed. Right? So that column, location column can be null, can be missing value. So which, according to business, which are the columns that should be populated for sure without any null values? Which column can be null value? First, we need to differentiate that. But will location column gives us insights?
It can be labels.
What do you mean by labels?
Like if you want to fetch the city location, like population, if you filter like cities like Hyderabad, Chennai, you can differentiate the people with among the cities.
I mean, on top of it, you're gonna do analysis on city. Let's say I have some 5,000 rows. 1,000 people are from Hyderabad, 1,000 people are from Warangal, 1,000 people are from thing.
If some of locations are missing, then the insight will be upright, right? Irregular.
Just null.
Hmm.
Just null. For 2,000 customers, I don't know where they are from. That's it. You can't do anything about it. You can't go and replace it. Okay, this customer can be from Hyderabad. You cannot misinterpret it. You cannot judge it and put it up. It always should be a factual. What is a fact? Whenever you're going to come into data, you're going to talk about a fact. What is fact? True. Next.
Real data.
Data. Next. What is called a fact? Actual data. Okay. A fact is something happened. Something happened in real. A sales data the sales table we always call them as a fact table. Because a sale has happened. When I went into a store, I bought a chocolate, I came out of it. The fact happened. Can anyone delete that incident in this entire world? Unless someone delete the data, unless someone delete the CCTV, unless someone is not believing me. I'm going to get into superstore and get the chocolate and come out. That's a fact that happened. I ordered something in Amazon. That's a fact. It happened. I'm coming here. I'm talking to you guys. It's a fact. It happened. That's what we call as a factual data. Okay. There's always a difference between factual and dimensions. Now, what is dimension?
It can be modified.
Supporting data. City is a supporting data. I can come to a Hyderabad store and buy a chocolate and come out of. For that, But to understand the superstore, which city I'm from, am I local guy? Why did I come here and talk about the first thing is that where are you guys are from? Someone said Madhya Pradesh. Someone said, so I can, if it's a complete Telugu, Hyderabad state, I can make it in Telugu, right? I can talk in Telugu. Or if majority of people from Hindi, I can talk in Hindi. So I'm checking the dimension here to make my analysis better. So I always do a ground check. That's how my EDA starts from. Okay. And what do you mean by accuracy?
Whether they say we get proper.
Accuracy, consistency, validity. It can go all three time to time. Okay. Now I'll give you an example. Let me open my notepad or Excel. So let's say I have a column called email ID. Okay. And if I put my email ID as is this correct email ID? Why? Is this correct email ID? Is this correct email ID? Is this correct email ID? Why? When first three email IDs you guys said no. Why this is the correct email ID?
Based on the email rules and regulations, it should have special characters. It doesn't include in the user ID.
Okay. Or how about this?
Yes, or columns. It was a special character included.
All these are correct email IDs. All four are correct email IDs. Plus, correct email ID. Right. I'll go to the. Let's say that I'm going to. But what if I say that this is the correct email ID? So whenever you open an email in the Gmail, Gmail is going to restrict you to not to have a special characters. But in real life, I have seen emails, Brian O'Connor, Jake O. Daniels, the US people, they allow the characters. So the domain knowledge, the email column is not only what we know, it's about what research we do on it. Pretty sure this is when you go to the Google, this will say that it's no, because Gmail is now populating the values. Google will go for the Gmail search and telling you guys. But in real life, this is a valid email. And the 1, 2, 3, 4 dots, no, it is a valid email. You can take it up a task. You can post this, you can take it up a task. Go to ChatGPT or go to a cloud and ask it that can sometimes company allow these email IDs? It's gonna say yes. Something surprising, something like you guys are looking like what the hell he's talking about. These are valid email IDs. So I'll tell you why when I even last year I got to know this at the shop. Because I was writing a rules on top of this data. My email ID column should have a proper email address. But for a proper email address, how will you know? That rules how you define them. So you do EDA, you're gonna analyze the data, but what will you do as EDA? Only if you know some rules, right? Only if you know some domain knowledge, only if you know some validity rules, you're gonna do rules, right? Okay. So let's say that are you married? Yes or no? Can you say maybe? Sorry? Can you say secret? Or if I can ask you that, do you have a girlfriend? Madhya Pradesh ke, tell me. Yes. No. Only these things. Can you say maybe? Can you say I'm not sure? If you say that, your girlfriend is going to kill you or your mom is going to kill you. Either two things. Okay. So for the binary answers, what do you mean by binary? True or false? Yes or no? Zero or one. The two values, binary. Can we have a third option into it? Maybe. Then what is then? That's how the validity comes. And that's how the consistency also comes. Okay. So now let's say that for consistency, what is the pin code of Hyderabad? Let's say some pin code of Hyderabad. 500081 is the pin code of this one. If I say high tech city and put 500028, will you accept it? Or if you say Hyderabad and I'll say 600081 my bank my Tamil Nadu address. Or by surprisingly some like our Malayali friend comes here and says that suddenly you'll be at high tech city and suddenly you fill your Kannur's pin code and data takes it up. Will you data will take it up? But when you analyze it, what will you know? Is this a consistency or not? So that is a consistency. And what do you mean by timeliness?
Acting on right time or
Is a fact acting on right time. Okay, for example, when the sales happen, and when we go into the sales data is 01/01/1999. Or in a lot of the data sets, you will see the data 01/01/1900. Have you ever seen those data values? Those are the dummy values. If there's no, if to, in order, date column is time and date column is always a pain. The moment you're analyzing on a date column, you'll always be stressed. A lot of people not to have a null values on a date column, they will put 1900s, 1999s, 2000s. The sales data will be there. When the sales data happen, 1999 will happen. Is this a correct or wrong? Okay. And let's say the travel date. Can a travel date, okay, can a birth date be, let's go birth date. Can a birth date be later than the death date? If there is death, so that's where all the timeliness comes. If something happened to happen date properly, that's why we go to timing check. It's a current thing enough or not enough. I'm stopping here. Any questions here now? What do you guys learn from this slide?
it's correct.
Data is not going to tell that this data is correct or wrong. The way we check is going to tell you. And some of the how many of us in Excel itself we have gone through, like let's say we have every column. How do we efficiently check the data? How do we efficiently understand the data?
Maybe we need to use specific rules for each column and so that it can filter the right outcomes.
So if I was in, should AC be off? A lot of people are yawning. Should AC be off? Or it's no issues. It's just a Saturday, Friday night we had a lot of party, and Saturday we are tired. Okay. Hey, I'm working till 3 a.m. coming here. If I'm not yawning, I cannot expect you guys to yawn. Okay. 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 So simple. Whenever you go into the data, before a data tells something, you have to understand what this data is all about. If at all you bucket all your checks on this 6 things, that will be enough. And when someone is saying null values, right? Not all the nulls are issue. So that's how I come up with this mechanism of MCAR, MAR, MNAR. Okay. So missing at random, missing at not random. When an item supposed to, when a value supposed to be there, if it's missing, that's an issue. When a value, it's not supposed to be present or not, but it's missing, it's not an issue. Okay. So missing at random, missing not at a random. I cannot, for example, I cannot miss I cannot, Jaya Surya as a customer data, birth date. I cannot miss it. Some birth date should be there. But I can miss my dead date, right? Because I'm not dead yet. There should not be any value of my dead date. Right? So understand that suddenly we'll be looking at the column because this column has this much of null values. What is the story that because of why is it null? No one will look into it. Why is it null? Is this column supposed to be null or not? How many of us will check that or checked it earlier? Tell me. The only question we'll be asking is how many columns are there? How many columns will have null values, non-null values? That's all we'll check. But this column is supposed to have null values or not? No one will check it. From here onwards, we will understand that this column can have null values or not. First, we'll check that. So, and before we get into exploration, something that we need to understand, okay? Yeah. Something that we need to understand is that what is the behind the scenes happening in the data set, in the table. Okay. For example, I'll do analysis today. And I come tomorrow, the data is refreshed. All the analysis I did yesterday is obsolete. Whenever we get into analysis of the data, we never ask that what is the refresh schedule of the data? How often does data gets refreshed? Or how frequent a new data will come into this append into data sets? That question will never ask. Because we'll assume that this data is a fresh data, we'll understand. But this data is already generated and storing, created 1 year back and sitting there. So we'll be doing analysis like 1 year old data. A lot of people, a lot of interns that join in my company will come and they'll be going through some links, like courses link and all. The courses is 5 years old course. And whatever the data that's attached, it's 5 years old data. They'll be doing some analysis. In Kaggle, a lot of you guys will go to Kaggle. How often you check the published date of the Kaggle dataset? So you'll be analyzing on 5 years before dataset. Huh?
Like census.
Census.
Now we are the 2011 census.
We know that 2011 census is still the correct one, right? For example, what is the last data, World Cup data? 2023. Unless 2027, I don't have the 2000. I don't have any new data. Now it's a valid. I know when does dataset happen. But can I apply the same logic for IPL? Every year IPL will change. Can I apply the same logic for T20 matches? Every month the IPL matches will change. Let's say that I have a record of Surya Kumar Yadav's average is 54 in T20. But for how long? Am I considering this IPL? If I'm not considering IPL, am I considering T20? We never know when the data refreshes. Okay. And next thing, something called SLA. This terminology you will be hearing a lot in corporate. Service level agreement. Okay. Is nothing but, for example, I'm supposed to be here at 11 a.m. That is an agreement I decided with CEDLEARN. Okay. That is SLA. I came late. That's another also story. I came late. I'm sorry for it. But the agreement between me and CEDLEARN is 11 a.m. Second thing, SLA part. what time the data is supposed to come. Every day, 10 a.m., the data is supposed to be updated. If something is not upending on a 10 a.m., new data is not coming on 10 a.m., that you need to investigate why. So this is not something that you can focus immediately, but understand that data context is something called data contract. This terminology, no one will come and tell you this. Understand it, okay? Now, so you do EDA, guys. It depends on the EDA you're doing with what, for whom. Let's say I'm your manager. I'll be going very deep and asking you questions. But if I'm the boss of the company, I don't want you to see that I have some null values, I have some missing values, I have some issues. I don't want to see those values. That's why I hired you. You will take care of it. What I need from you guys is that I need to tell you guys a story. If I'm going to stakeholders, I want you to tell you a story that my sales is dropped by 15%. Why? I don't want because your sales is dropped 15% because there's a 20% null value in your data. What good that will help me to make a decision? Okay, so it's always stakeholder connection. Who's the whenever you understand the data, for example, this hackathon I'll be giving you. This data I produced it and gave it to you guys. And let's say you work in a company where the data is a sales data or accounting data. If it's account related, who will ask you? You will ask you the questions doubt for finance team. If it's an employee data, where who will ask you a doubt for HR team. If it's a salary data issue, who will you ask for? Also HR. Also HR. Without HR knowledge, nothing is going to happen. Right? So we have to understand this data is produced by which team? This data is owned by which team? That question we need to understand. And domain knowledge. Statistics tells you what, like, I'm sure like you're going to learn the statistics right now. You're going to tell that what is the correlation of the table? What is the median of the table? What is the mean of this column? What is the mode of this column? You're going to be telling me. But what domain knowledge you have to understand the mode. For example, in order to understand mode is nothing but frequency. But is that column helps my business? That question we'll never ask by ourselves. Is mode, for example, when should we use mean? When should we use median? Tell me.
Mean is to find central tendency.
You being technical. I don't want technical. Let's say I am a boss. Put in a simple terms, right? Can you explain in simple terms? When do you use mean? When do you use median? Median is also part of central tendency. It's also a different part. And when do we use mode?
It's used for the when you added the C.
Okay. Okay. Median.
You see, at which position we are and what can we do better? Like that.
Something.
Median is
Correct.
median is affected by outliers.
You're right. Mean is affected by outliers or median is affected by outliers? Tell me, I don't understand. Be loud. Which one is affected by outliers?
Median.
Median is not affected by outliers or affected by outliers. And what about mean? So median will not be affected by outliers like mean. Why? So the range will be different for the median. Okay, the median is to come at a center point, like what he said. But mean is just for finding an average. So to identify for which column I have to use mean and median, you need to talk to the business to understand the data. You need to talk to the business. Should have a domain knowledge. My average salary of the department. my average count of employees for the department. These all can be an average. For the population, you cannot go with always an average. Sometimes you have to go with a median. Okay, so there's always in the EDA part itself when to use mean, when to use median. That is something that we have to be very careful of, because you guys are right now in statistics, right? And also without domain knowledge, EDA is just nothing but some sentences, some paragraph. It's not an insight. And also, this is where it's a main important slide is. Let's say we have some observation. Sales got some 5 times more today. Why? This month have some 15% sales higher than last month. But what is the reason?
Maybe it's a special day or week of like that.
Friends.
Price.
This is what I know.
Next one. When the petrol was shortage, everyone was standing outside of the petrol bunk. And on that day, sales when the petrol bunk was 5 times, 10 times, 20 times better. It happened in Hyderabad, right? But is it a good thing or bad thing?
Business.
Huh?
As a businessman, it's good.
No. In order to get the supply, he had to pay less and got the supply. He cannot charge more to the customers, right? Let's say I'm going to put a petrol pump for 100 rupees. 100 rupees petrol, he cannot demand me for 120 rupees. But for whoever he's getting the supply from, because of the high demand, he's gonna pay extra and get the supply. So is it a loss or a profit for him? It's a break even. So that is how we have to go deep in thinking. Just because the sales is high, we cannot think that okay, it's a profit for him. And in Big Bazaar or this anywhere, we will be like a flat sale of 50%, 60%. What is the reason of them putting it off 60%?
Clearance of stocks.
The invested stock not going out. He's clearing it off. Laptop at every end of the year, laptop is from 20%, 30% sale. Why? New versions are coming. The old goods. So, for example, I will not buy a 2024 model bike now.
More number of
More number product is there, but the product expected to sell is not selling. So, how many people will go for older versions of iPhone? Very less. Someone to save the money. But whenever the iPhone, for example, September comes, whenever new iPhone comes, people go for only new phones. But old phones, why is the cost got reduced drastically? But is it a profit or a loss for the Apple guys?
Profit.
It's a profit. So the petrol analogy will not work here. So that's how we have to differentiate a business and differentiate the ideas. Okay. And null delivery date. Okay. If at all a delivery date is the shipping date, can the shipping date be greater than the delivery date?
No.
Can delivery date be lesser than the shipping date?
Yeah.
Can the order date be lesser than the shipping date? Can the shipping date be same as order date? So this is how we need to define the rules. Okay. So this is how we need to define the rules for anything. Okay. And negative profit value. Can a profit be negative? Why?
If you go for health reports or
So this is a valid scenario or a later thing. Because of a discount or return policy, the profit's gone negative for it. But this one, instead of calculating in rupees, my ERP system calculated in dollars. Because of that, I got a loss. That's a wrong value. That we need to change. So ask a question, whether it's a valid scenario or not. If the scenario, the issue is valid, leave it. If you found that because of my, instead of calculating in dollars, it calculated in rupees, it's a loss for me. That's a wrong thing, right? Some ERP does it. No, I may not, I know, I don't get, see, some ERPs really did it. So, there was a huge thing, one mistake. So Pepsi, okay, Pepsi in maybe this happened when we all are kids. Even I was a kid back then. Okay, so Pepsi announced an ad campaign that from the bottle of Pepsi that you buy, there will be a serial number. That serial number, if at all you get that serial number,
You'll get a cash.
you'll get a BMW car kind of a thing. But that guy didn't make the over generated, he didn't make it as a unique one. So thousands of people got the same serial number. And some thousands or 10,000 people are waiting for to get a BMW. Because of that serial number advertisement, his sales got huge. But because of that issue, he openly admitted that it's a wrong thing. We are not giving anything away because of the sales got down. So understand the root issue for everything. Okay. And same customer, two IDs. Same customer, two. Is it a valid scenario or not? Yes or no? Yes. Why? How?
Different
Yeah.
One mobile number, the customer name, one mobile number, why people are least concerned about the name, but concerned about the mobile number and email ID.
Because mobile number is unique. What names are same?
Jaya Surya can be represented as multiple things. Jaya Surya G Jaya Surya, Surya Jaya G. But mobile number cannot be shifted. Email ID cannot be shifted. That's why we always said with one email number and email ID, one mobile number, there should be only one customer ID. If the customer ID is multiple, for one email ID and one mobile number, there's two customer ID, the system is broken. We have to go to upstream application and talk to them. That's how we need to get into data for. And before we analyze anything, okay, we have to audit. What do you mean by audit? Someone you said, what you said, shape of the data. If I would be there, if for example, date column, is it a text or a date column?
Can be both.
Can be both, but can you analyze? Let's say if there's a date call, if the text column is a date column, if it's a date column is just a general text, you can't do analysis on top of it. What you need to do, you need to delimit the column, divide the column, year, month, date. Then you have to join it again as a date. There'll be a lot of issues. But if it already comes as a date, you don't have to worry about anything. The expected data type versus the received data type. I'll take this audit. Column name and consistency. For example, either we use camel consistency, camel case. What do you mean by camel case? Have you heard something called camel case? What? This is the camel case. It could be a small letter, it could be a capital letter, anytime. Okay. Python is a case sensitive or not? What is case sensitive, by the way? It has to follow upper. For example, instead of upper and if I'm referring Jaya Surya as all small letters, and my customer database as a Jaya Surya as a capital letter, it will not match. But SQL sometimes it's a non-case sensitive. So we have to understand the case sensitive also here. Okay. Sorry? Yeah. Yeah. This is something that it's also going to help you in your hackathon today. What is the difference? There are multiple ID columns in one table. customer ID, user ID, unique ID, location ID. It will be multiple things will be there. So the one column may not be same like another. What do you mean by customer ID and customer unique ID? If there are two columns like this, customer ID, customer unique ID. So in some cases, customer ID will be generated based on a region. I can be part of Hyderabad, I can be also part of Chennai. When I come to Hyderabad, I have a different customer ID. When I come to Chennai, I have a different customer ID. But my customer unique ID should be only one. So some companies will follow that system. So always, it's not like, for example, I have two columns, customer ID, customer unique ID. Customer ID is 10 values. So I should not assume that customer unique ID will also be 10 values. So run n unique, or in your terms, run the distinct count in all the columns, because you guys are not in Python yet. Now you guys, you're talking about mean, median, mode, IQR, standard deviation, right? When do we use all these things, guys? In real life, we use mean, variance. Data scientists may use IQR. Median is used very less. Mode is used very less. So, but what I'm trying to say is that we have options, but when to use when? That option, that understanding we don't have at all. So you know when to use what. And you guys would be learning skewness and kurtosis. What is skewness and kurtosis? Simply tell me. What is skewness? What is kurtosis? It's for distribution, I agree. Yeah, but what skewness is telling me? If I do skew, yeah, but my question is, what is skewness means? What? Why do I do skewness? Why should I do skewness? Like we know the terminologies, but we never know why are we doing what.
To understand the data, how it's going, like it is going shorter version, or like where you can find the highest variable, like
For example, trend population in the
younger version and elder version.
it can be either two ways. It's both the extremes. It cannot be in the middle. It can be in the two ways. If it is in the middle, it's good for us. Normal distribution data. But we need to understand, is it the trend is going in a negative way or a positive? That's all. And if it's going in a positive way, are we fine with it? Unemployment. Going it in a positive way. Are we fine with it?
No.
But if it goes in a negative way, okay. We are a good country. For only for data science jobs. The unemployment is going in the positive way.
Yes.
Less opportunity. So that's why we need to know when to use queries, when to use kurtosis. Some people, so except the data scientist, the data analyst will be using this very less. But we should know when to use what. If at all it has been used at the right time, this is great. And now comes the biggest question. Why are we using visualizations? Visualization is very, very important in EDA. Why are we using visualizations? To convey the story easily. Nothing else. You can just go with the numbers and tell you that I have some 500 customers. But 500 customers from different which region? Again, you're going to put a table. Instead of that, you can put a chart. So now tell me, do you know when to use which chart? There's a unspoken visualization rules as well. If you are comparing 2 years, if you're comparing a trend, which chart will you use?
Bar graph.
Okay. Next.
Lines.
So line chart, area chart are similar of bar chart used for trend. If it's for comparison, which chart you will use? 5 cities comparison.
Pie chart.
Pie chart can be used. Bar chart can be used. So for me, I can also show that in Power BI that I have, right? Yeah. So visualization category. This is how I categorize my visualizations. If it's a comparison charts, I'll always go for bar charts, column charts, bullet charts. If it's a distribution chart, all the histograms, box plots, and scatter plots. If it's a relationship charts, what do you mean by relationship? Again, not asking personal relationship. What do you mean by relationship?
Okay. Different.
How one column is related to another column. Let's say you have two columns, age and income. Which chart will you use?
Income.
Age and income. Which chart will you use?
Need to relate.
Hmm?
Need to relate both the charts.
I mean, wow. What chart will you use? Age column, income column, two columns are there. Bar plot. We cannot use bar plot because why? Both are numerical. How will you plot in why? Scatter plot. So our understanding is that as the age increases, income will also increase. That's how the relationship are. As the population increases, GDP will also increase. Or it can be reversed way. As the population increases, GDP also will decrease. You guys agree? So that relation we can only show it in the scatter plot. Or
Lines.
line chart, no. Because what do you like? What will be x-axis? For the line chart, the x-axis will always be a time period. Heat map, correlation. Age and income. More than correlation, nothing can tell you the relationship. That's from statistics. What is correlation? What is correlation? Now you guys in statistics, you guys have to, this is not in Python. What do you mean by it's correlation done, right? It's not done? Okay, that's something to be. What are the topics that has been done in statistics?
In the measures of deflation.
Okay, the range, variance.
Normal distribution.
Okay. There's something called correlation, okay? I mean, all you guys have got variance, right? What is variance? This has to be answered. What is variance? Again, don't go too technical deep. Convey it in like I'm a dumb guy. What is variance? Now, see, why Steve Jobs is a CEO, was a CEO? Why Satya Nadella is a CEO? Why the greatest people are in CEOs? They were able to tell things simply without using jargon or technological terms. They can convey something easily to anyone, even a 5-year-old kid. Yeah, again, too technical.
And error.
Yeah, go ahead. You're close. And what do you mean by error here? And that is what EDA is. EDA is analyzing the things and conveying things in an easy way. You tell me, you were saying something?
Standard deviation.
Okay, what do you mean by standard
Actual
deviation?
data is misleading the position.
To find a difference between the difference between the one value to another value. Okay, let's say that I have from five rows are there. Okay, age is like what's your age? 22. What's your age? 24. What's your age, sir? 26. And let's say that we have another batchmate in the team called 40. This is a variant. This is an error. The model expects from the pattern, but this one is away from the pattern. This is an error. Okay. Now, when one column is considered, we use the technique called variance. When two column is considered, we use something called covariance. Okay. Age, income. Let's say 22 guy earns 5 lakhs. 24 guy earns 6 lakhs. 26 guy earns 7 lakhs. 40 years guy earns 50 lakhs. So now this will do a covariance. This will relate the both and will give a covariance. But the problem is that covariance, there is no limit. It is infinity. Either positive or negative. It's infinity. And that's the reason we use correlation. Because correlation ranges minus 1 to plus 1. Minus 1 to plus 1. Minus 1 to plus 1 is the range. With that, I can understand either this is strongly correlated or negatively correlated. Age and income is correlated or not. When I say correlated, related or not. Is age and income dependent to each other? 99%, the more you grow, the better salary you get. Right? That's how the correlation works. So I'm telling you, right? Correlation. But correlation also have two different logics. Pearson and Spearman. It's like algebra equation. To arrive at a square plus b square plus 2ab or to a plus 2ab plus b square. So we have multiple things, right? So, and you guys are better chemistry students than me. So for one equation, we have multiple ways. One mathematical equation, we have multiple ways. So correlation also have multiple ways, but it has own limits. Since the correlation is not taught to you guys yet, I'll wait for it. Okay. And now, so why am I taking this bivariate and multivariate? What do you mean by bi and multivariate?
Variance of two columns will come under bivariate. If multiple columns having a covariance, then multivariate.
If I'm doing analysis on one column, it is single variance. If I'm doing analysis on two columns, it's bi. If I'm doing analysis on more than two columns, it's a multi. That's it. Okay. And here, if I'm doing analysis between numeric versus numeric column, I'll use correlation to understand how this one column is related to another column. If I'm doing a numerical versus categorical column, these are the existing functions I can use. I mean, you guys don't know it yet, but these are grouped by box plot, ANOVA. There are multiple things like this. If I'm doing categorical versus categorical, 100% stock bar, kite chart. So there are multiple things like this. So I don't want to confuse this because you guys are not in Python yet. Okay. But what analysis we doing? Is it a numeric versus numeric, numeric versus categorical, categorical versus categorical? That we need to understand before we analyze. And someone was talking about outliers. What do you guys mean by outliers here? Is it good? Outlay is good or not? It affects, but good or not? Can we book? Why? Give an example. It could be good. Bad example?
It deviates the mean.
It affects the mean.
Yeah.
With outlays, you cannot have the average. That's what I'm telling you, right? With outlays, you cannot have an average. So when outlays comes, you need to for because behind the machine learning models, behind the AI, everything is statistical and mathematical. You guys agree it, right? If you guys are very strong in statistics mathematics, you guys are already an engineer, ML engineer or ML developer. So behind the scenes, the model tries to understand a pattern. When a pattern is getting affected by the outliers, we need to remove the outliers to understand the pattern. That's it. So we still have a lot of rules like IQR, Z-score, domain rule to understand the outliers. So there are three ways to define too far. Like what you said is like good or bad. This value is too far. 90 is still under the limit because it's less than 100. If the score is more than 100, that's a issue or not. So according to business, that's valid. We cannot take the value away. But give a bad example that can cross above 100. If I live more than 100 years, is it good or bad? Clearly, none of you guys want me to live more than 100 years. Is it can be done or not? Okay, but if my age is 0, is it a good thing or bad thing? 0 cannot be age. Because at least one day should be there. I was born. Right? So, and whenever you go to a store, you see a value, it can be 0, but can it be minus 100? That's a bad example of outlier. I can go to a store and I can buy a bag of 1 lakh rupees. But can I buy a bag of minus 1 lakh rupees? Some data sets will have this issue. That you need to find. And also, an outlier is always a question, not an answer. Outlier is always not about meant to remove. Okay. Yeah, see the pattern before you fix it. That's what I'm saying. Like null percentages. First, understand why the null is there. Before you fix it, find why null is there. Okay. Yeah, I mean we're getting close, but this. So when I have issue, when to use which null options, when to use which is the thing, I always go for this. Like I always list like this. But since you guys not in Python, there's nothing to worry about. Okay, now you tell me, sir. Now your question comes. Text data EDA. So how do we understand a text data EDA? What will you do? Now we had a conversation. If you guys in situation, how will you understand the comments? What analysis do you do on comments? Free text. What analysis you guys will do? How will you even analysis on text data?
Make it into shorter, maybe.
Oh,
We will segment the words. Like good and positive and negative. It is bad and it is negative.
Conclusions.
yeah. How will you come to a conclusion? See, my let's say that I'm the movie guy. Okay, I'm the producer of the movie. You are the data analyst for me. People submitted their reviews. I'm asking you to comment. I have some 20,000 comments in my form. And analyze all these 20,000 and tell me if the movie is good or bad according to the people. How will we do? IMDb ratings is fine because all that guys are. But if you see, I can give 5 stars. I can still comment bad about the movie. I can give 1 star, for example, lot of one hero fan will just comment, will star one of the other hero fan. So rating doesn't affect the comments. Now, something called, you guys in statistics, right? What is mutually exclusive? There's a concept called mutually dependent, mutually exclusive in probability. Probability started. Okay. This is something understandable. It's for fun. Mutually. So mutually dependent first will come in.
The both terms will be dependent on each other.
Yeah. So for example,
They'll get both the cases will get profit or maybe.
so for example, I'll take a card example, simple. In order to take a black king, I need to have a black, I need to have a king. It's a mutually dependent. But in order to just take a king, that card could be red, that card could be a black. I don't have to worry about it. That is mutually exclusive. One event can happen without the support of another event. But for black king to be taken, I need a black card for sure. That's how the mutual exclusive, mutual dependent works. Okay. And for rating and why our rating and comments are not always mutually dependent. So in order to analyze the text, there's something called NLP these days. You guys would now know what is NLP, natural language processing. Our LLMs are all based on NLP. Anything that all this chat GPT, all this LLMs, what is the full form of LLM? What is full form of SLM? SLM. Small language models, nothing to think of. That's why we guys are thinking too technical. The LLM is wide, SLM is domain specific, some place. Okay, and whenever you let's say that how many of you guys use Claude? You use Claude. You will see that within some third or fourth prompt, the tokens are getting over your free usage limit. Why? Because your tokens consumption is high. When I use Claude, at least 15 prompts I'll be there. But for you, only 2 prompts will be gone. Because you make the Claude to use a lot of tokens. I make the Claude to make less tokens. So what is token here? Every word will be converted as a token. So let's say that you have a value called Chennai in a cell. But behind the scene, how this will be stored?
It is converted into binary format.
It will be converted to binary format. And that binary format will turn into tokens in AI. So the more tokens you make it consume, the more easily a prompt will be, the usage will be high. Sorry?
Examples.
Yeah. And text quality issues. I recently understood. Have you guys ever seen? Let's say that www.amazon.in. There'll be a slash.
US.
Okay. US percentage 20. Have you ever seen a percentage 20?
Again percentage D.
D. Again percentage 20. New York. What is an issue with this email? This link will work. But when we do analysis on this percentage 20 will always have an issue. That's why we call encoding, mixed character sets, emoji, mixed character sets. And whenever we write a WhatsApp text, we write in English as well as Telugu mixed. But can we do analysis on top of it? We can't do. But with some text, actually the language mixing models, we can do analysis on top of it. And the case passwords. Okay, great. These two things will be considered a different token. And what is boilerplate, guys? Auto-generated text, auto-generated ID, auto-generated things are boilerplate. Not to be worried about for immediately, but this whenever you guys are coming to work on data, some data keys, boilerplate is very important to understand. And as you said, the image, audio, video, everything has the same instinct but different metadata. For column, we'll have a different metadata. For table structure, what is the metadata we will follow? What is metadata first of all? Huh?
Data.
Exactly. Data about the data. Simply said, nothing can be told about it. A data about a data is a metadata. A dictionary format, right? And every join has a risk. Why? Let's say you join a multiple thing. Every join has a risk. Why? So someone said cardinalities. You said cardinality. What do you mean by cardinality? Relationship. For my date of birth, can multiple people born?
Yes.
So that is one to many. For my for my date of birth, for my address, for my mobile number, can only be one person, right? That is one to one mapping, right? For Chennai city, it's like for Hyderabad, it's a city called Hyderabad, and multiple people can live. That is many to one. So what is the difference from many to many?
Country to country. Like people will be migrating from some countries to other countries.
Simply I put Ratnadeep. Store name Ratnadeep. Customer name Jaya Surya. Multiple Ratnadeeps. I'll go buy in every Ratnadeep. So many to many. How are you will handle this? That is also EDA issue. So when many to many comes, what will you handle?
Okay.
There's something. Yeah, good. So because one area or one street can have only one Ratnadeep. So you will create a new join key. Ratnadeep underscore IDEX city. Ratnadeep underscore Ayappa society. But what if Ayappa society have two Ratnadeeps? Again, it will be a many to many. Well, in that case, what will you do? You will put street name also. It will be going a long term. So that's all we got something called bridge table. Make a note of it, you can understand a bridge table for handling many to many. And always the foreign key, right? Foreign key is always an issue. What do you mean by foreign key? One table's primary key is another table's foreign key. Customer ID in sales data, sales table is a foreign key. But customer ID in customer data is a primary key. So always have a proper connection between primary key and a foreign key. Again, guys, I will come to the last part of the thing. EDA is a tool agnostic concept, not a tool specific concept. Python has its own way of tool. SQL has its own, Excel has its own, but EDA is not a tool agnostic. It's a conceptual, it's a process that beyond a tool. When you say you know Python, when you say you know SQL, when you say Power BI, it's a tool. Later, some 10 years, because people used to do data science in JavaScript. People used to do Python in the Palantir model back in 2000. So after some 20 years, we don't know if Python is going to be there or not. We don't know if SQL is going to be there or not. But EDA will still be there because EDA is it's part of everyone's process. And yeah, once you make everything like every data set case, a structural audit, a data quality scan, a missing diagnosis, a univariate, bivariate, multivariate outlier review. Now it comes of decision and recommendation. You understood, you did all these things. What recommendation you're giving it? That's also part of EDA. You just say that I observed some 2000 nulls are there. That's the issue you found.
What you just solved.
What is the solution you're coming up with? I am not paying you to just to come up with this find a solution. Find an issue. Come up with a solution. That's what the companies are expecting you to. And last like this. Assume every dataset is lying about something until you have checked. When I say this, what do you mean? What do you mean by this? What do I mean by this? Assume every dataset is lying, but it's about something.
We didn't check that we didn't know the aspect of the data.
It's like the moment we see observe something in data, we found like okay, this is an issue in this data. But there's more to the data. The data is not trying to tell us, but we have to find it. Have that investigative mind always. Why this is happening? Is this correct or wrong? Okay. That's all I'm breaking here. You guys have any questions? Consider. See, I'm not sure if we're gonna meet again or not. With all the questions you have, ask me what are the questions you guys have now.
As a pressure, you have a datasets. How need to elaborate the story
So
as a
practice.
beginner.
No, it's I understand, but practice. How many data sets you have gone through in this entire life? How much matches Virat Kohli played to come at this situation? So we have to when I used to be a fresher, what I'll do is that every day or every day twice, I'll download a new data set from Kaggle or I'll create. Sometimes I'll create my own data set. I'll start analyzing it. I'll create a presentation out on top of my analysis. Then Power BI came. I'll at least every day, twice or every week, 5 times, I'll get a new data set and put into Power BI and analyze the data, tell a story. I'll practice a lot to understand to better my storytelling. Still answer your question? Or anything you're expecting? Anything else? Any questions?
Means I don't know how to start.
Hey, I understand. See, that's what I'm telling you. First, go open a Excel. You got an Excel. First, open, as I told you, rows and columns, look into it. How many rows, how many columns? What are the columns? Make a note of it. From this, you try to create your own problem statement. For example, let's say that you have an IPL data set with you. What are the things that you would like to know in IPL?
Figure out the stats. Best who is the best, who's
Virat Kohli versus MS Dhoni. Who scored highest numbers? Your problem statement. Sorry?
In IPL.
Which team IPL won more? Which team is consistent? You create your first of all, you see a data set. Okay. Don't write into code immediately. Don't write into analysis immediately. Define a problem statement by yourself. See, if I'm presenting this to someone, what are the questions that they can ask? Create your own problem statement scenarios.
In that way, we can create more problems.
Sometimes, yes, it's all based on time. For example, that's it, right? First, you'll come up with some 6 or 7 questions. If I'm a client, you will talk to me. Hey, these are the important things I think. Is there anything else you would like to know more about that I should dig deep into it? You need to communicate. When you do EDA, it's not all about yourself alone. You need to talk to others as well. Only then you'll get to your EDA will be better.
So we need to question, we need to create problem statement at the same time, we need to create the solution also, right?
Not solution. If at all you know the solution, it's fine. Who are you to give the solution to the business client? You can come up with a recommendation, not a solution.
It's mainly about recommendation.
Why? See, when EDA is happening, according to me, EDA is dead. What? How?
Where?
Why? What next? These are questions I follow. If at all put everything in your EDA, this is best.
As of now, you suggested us that it's a applicable process, implementation process, right?
What do you mean by implementation? I said process, not implementation process. What is the process?
You need to have a start process till the end process. Like you need completeness, accuracy, like all these are implementations on the data set.
I'm not saying everything needs to be done. I'm saying I'm bracketing this, bucketing this, all these checks into these 6 things. If we follow 6 things, we have a basic understanding it. Now my business is not interested of this value is missing. What are they going to understand with this? My column have 20% null values. Are they interested about it? They are interested about it. They want to know that which region is performing well. In order to understand which region is performing well, I need to have all the regions value in the column. If that is missing, I'll be telling that we have 20% of the value are null. So 80% of the sales are coming from these cities. That is how I have to tell the story. I cannot say that this is 20% or null, so this 20% is null. So from the 80% of the data, from 80% of the sales, these are the top cities of sales have happened. But 20% is null, we are still getting the data. That's how I'll play with the business team. Any questions? You can ask me if you have a different view.
So can you replace Java
Yeah.
person?
Yeah.
In the real time analysis, can you use AI tools?
You can, unless your organization, if your real organization will not, if it already is stopping you to do. Every company except the banking, financial, data, and healthcare sectors, every company is now AI adopting. So when I say AI adopting, prompt engineer, no. A prompt engineer can replace a data scientist, you're asking.
Data analyst.
Yes, but you're mixing 2 things here. A prompt engineer,
As a data analyst,
no.
But data science, what about data?
See, that's what I'm saying, right? Now, every boundaries are divided. The division of boundaries have gone too small. A data analyst is expected to how the data science works. A data scientist is expected how the AI works. So eventually, everyone is expected to know everything. We are in a very competitive field. For example, in my company, the recruitment drive happens. Okay. A guy said that he's only interested in data analyst. Another guy who built a AI application by just a prompting and understood that what a business scenario is it, came up with insights. Now, which one I will choose? The who built app. Because why? He analyzed the data. He created a presentation out of it. He also deployed an application on top by using AI. I will choose him, not a data analyst, because that guy only talks about numbers. So it's about a competition of what you guys are talking. And as far as your question goes, the prompt engineer can replace a data analyst or data scientist next for 5 years, no. But prompt engineering, why prompt engineering? What is the role of prompt engineering? To make the LLMs work better, we need prompts. Context. So that's where prompt engineering come. Everyone in this room are expected to know prompt engineering skills. Why? Everyone in this room are expected to know prompt engineering skills. Why?
To make the things shorter or easy to understand.
in terms of using the AI in a better way. Sorry?
Make the work done better.
Better than, yeah, that's it. Work done better, in order to make sure that AI understands things in a very way. Yeah. So, but for that to happen, only if I know the data analysis skills and data scientist skills, I can do it. Right? So, in the near time, in the future, it's not going away. See, back now there's something called FDE, Forward Deployment Engineer. What is Deployment Engineer? FDE. A new role is came into a market called Forward Deployment Engineer. Hmm?
Workflow is they can implement Excel and they do work automation tools like
That is called, yeah. See, with the AI era, exactly. This AI era, everything can be done in a vibe coding. For example, I'll open my vibe coding session. So this is a VS Code. A lot of people would know it, right? So I created this, right? I created this pipeline. Let's say the backend code API. This entire code was not written by me. It's written by AI. Okay. So what I did is that I gave a prompt of build an app. That's it. AI did everything. It checked everything. It built in everything.
it means the data by data.
Yeah, it means, see, tools may different. Uh, Concept is same. So if I prompt well, I can get this done. But this AI gave me 17 mistakes. I need to know to find it. So with just prompt, I cannot find it. Next question. Any question?
What's the major difference between AI and engineering?
The data scientist trains a model. Okay. Data scientist is like finding a correct model, train the model on the basis of data set for a prediction. But AI ML engineers just make the process automated way. For example, I don't train the model anymore. The models are already available out there. I'll make sure that my results, for example, you only predict something in data scientist, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, everything is becoming same thing. A data scientist now is becoming an AI ML engineer. For AI ML, what is AI? When we talk AI ML engineer, it's always about chatbot. It's always about the prompt. It's always about the LLMs now. There's no problem of tuning the models in the picture. How to make the process efficient? That's the role of AI ML engineer. For example, I have an application like this. In order to write something, in order for users to write something, AI engineer will go back and will collect the proper APIs, fetch it, and make it in a proper way. That's it. Any other questions?
What about the level?
It's coming, giving us a free things for a while, but it will be stopped quickly.
It runs through GPU also. NVIDIA. It's run through GPU.
NVIDIA's guys stop supporting it. Think of a time when NVIDIA stops it. Because it runs to NVIDIA, NVIDIA guys is not focusing on them. It's allowing them. Can NVIDIA stop it? Why? Why not?
Again, question. Is that-
So yeah, Olama is running on top of NVIDIA, right? If NVIDIA is allowing it because NVIDIA's processing units are free to consume right now. If NVIDIA makes it a priced one, that's it. So, but Olama is the only place that where all this learning people can use as a developer easy. For example, I have a, sorry?
Through without the internet interference.
Yeah,
It isn't basic.
yeah. So for example, if I go to how many of you guys have a own Google AI Studio? I purchased my keys. Okay, I purchased my keys. So how many dollars I spent for only today only I spent for some 4 rupees, 0.04 paise. Sorry, but my free account is gone.
Actually, it will be free sir, API.
Gone.
That
Done. You think how many prompts I'm doing for day? So but it's not related to work. It's related to my learning purposes. I'm doing it. Okay, and GitHub Copilot, I'm subscribing it. You know how much I'm paying for it? I'm paying 4,000 per month kind of thing. So now I'm investing myself. Yeah, I'm investing in AI tools that helps myself to stay ahead of the curve. I'm not asking you guys to do it, but basics. I know the basics. I'm doing it. For you guys, you should know the basics before doing it. The world has become so competitive. The world has become so competitive. Okay, the world has become so competitive that we want a lot of things to be happening. The lot of people are very competitive right now. Got it? So, for example, it's not just about a data analysis, data skills right now. The moment you complete this course, this entire curriculum, you have to upskill yourself of what's happening around the world. The same, once you come up with the ML, with just ML, you cannot survive. You need to know the AI for sure.
as a AI developer, they use agents.
Yeah, definitely. AI agents is different from agentic AI. What's the difference between AI agents and agentic AI?
Example for work person is substituting an AI and then
Sorry?
deploying a work for more stuff. Being agents. Coding.
So AI agent is one agent. Call agent, customer agent, telephonic agent. Agentic AI is connecting one agent to another agent to multi-agent systems, agentic AI.
This generate.
Generative AI, your LLMs are generative AI. Something that generates answers for you, something generates content for you, generative AI. That's a basic of AI. AI agents, agentic AI. Now we have come to quantum AI.
Using Python. Agent.
You can do it.
Script.
You can do it. If you know Python very well, no one is stopping. Next question.
Which projects are they connected with issues?
Someone they make either two, three things. Either go very domain specific or go for automation topics. I have worked in something called automation topics. When I enter something, when I give a prompt in my mobile, or when I put a charge, like that's what I'm saying, right? I can give you more examples, but that may confuse you. But let's go for domain specific right now. When I see some news, for example, did you create anything to stay updated ahead of the curve? Any news app you can create by yourself? Let's say that you can connect your phone and the data, and any analysis you can do it. So AI agents is that what problem I can give you some problems that I'm solve. But what problem you are facing to bucket it greatly? Whenever we use AI, two things to be there. Either it should automate the process that we can work very fastly, or our client should have a better experience by using the AI. Which are your problem now? That is you follow in day-to-day life. So my problem is that I don't have time of any more time of making a news. So I kind of created a Google agent that gives me collects all the news and gives me the news. But that's what the InShot app is. But the InShot app, I'm getting distracted. It's not coming in a way. And whenever I go to a YouTube, I don't have time to learn because it's getting distracted with some other video. So I get a YouTube link and put it in an agent, and the agent subscribes me everything. How many of you guys are using Notebook LLM? Notebook LLM. I'll share the content. How many of you guys using Notebook LLM? So whenever I learn something new, I'll go to Notebook LLM. Okay. So yeah, whenever I go to Notebook LLM, I'll go to Notebook LLM. I'll search about the notebooks. I'll create a new notebook and I'll talk about the things I know. It'll automatically give it to me. Try Notebook LLM. It will be very easy for you guys to learn something new. Anything else? Any questions? Before I jump into the today's hackathon. Anything on today's hackathon? Anything on today's hackathon? No, right? Anything on today's hackathon, guys? What do you want to know about today's hackathon?
How it works EDA on robotic PV, like 3D printing?
I have no idea about it. I never worked on it, Robert. I'm honest with it. Any other questions?
Why you more so
In order to reduce the efforts, for example, why, well, I was studying right? Why Python has come? Why Power BI has come? In order to reduce the time. AI, for example, in order to do a job in 10 days, for example, before AI, how will you write, in order to write a sentence, let's say you're sending an email now. How will you used to do before? You will type, you will see if it's correct or wrong. Now, what you'll do, you'll go to ChatGPT and give a scenario with your own simple English. ChatGPT will give a proper way, and you can just copy paste it in an email and send it in email, right? That's what now you're doing. So, why are you using AI? To automate the process, to make simple things simple.
Jim?
Samsung is one company, OnePlus is one company, iPhone is one company. We didn't ask one of things, right? It's always that why you use which phone you use, ma'am. I use OnePlus. Can I ask you why you use Vivo? I use OnePlus because it's cheap. Which phone you use? Which phone you use? Realme. Which phone you use? iPhone. Why you use iPhone?
Camera.
So camera, you were using Vivo for camera. You was also using iPhone for camera. What's the difference between? Hmm?
Quality.
So using Vivo's quality, iPhone's quality. So that's why, right? It's all a different sort of thing. But what features these guys are coming? Meta AI is mostly focused on content-based thing. It's a video-based thing. Whereas ChatGPT, for example, you use Perplexity. What's the difference between Perplexity and ChatGPT? Perplexity is defined to prepare you for an exam kind of a thing. Perplexity is a research-based engine where you can make it as a proper research-based engine. But when it comes to ChatGPT, ChatGPT is like your assistant. You agree to it? ChatGPT can still be used for research purposes. But Perplexity is like a next kind of a Google engine for like it's gonna research based. Perplexity have a lot of R&D kind of things. But whereas Claude, what is the main purpose of Claude? Claude is another human kind of a thing. So in order to how I use my AI tools is like ChatGPT is my go-to guide. Still, when even the Claude era, ChatGPT is a go-to guy. I talk to him like my assistant. I named my ChatGPT. It's like, hey, what are the things to this? ChatGPT is like an assistant to me. I go to Notebook LLM to learn something new. Learn. I go to GitHub Copilot to code. I go to Claude to make things in a grander way, to make things in simpler way. Claude has more better computing, but Claude is I don't want to since I'm not Claude has a very limited tokens available. I'm not depending on Claude. So that's how I use my. Everyone has its own priority. Like everyone, how I have OnePlus, you have Vivo. Everyone prefers one thing. If I ask you to use only ChatGPT, will you use only ChatGPT? Because some of us stop liking ChatGPT. Because ChatGPT goes free now. The moment ChatGPT costs a lot, people not like ChatGPT also. But it's all depends on why you use an AI tool. For what purpose you use an AI tool. Okay, any questions?
Dataset lying example.
Dataset,
Lying
lying examples. Like you search something, a dataset is telling something. Okay. Example I told you, right? For example, customer ID, customer unique ID. That's also a part of hackathon. I'm giving a tip right away. Your customer ID is only one. Your customer unique ID is two. It's like customer ID can be duplicate, but you will for every customer ID there will be one unique ID, customer unique ID will be mapped. So your customer ID will put it distinct, and there is I have 10 customer IDs. But when you go to customer unique ID, you will be having only 8 customer unique IDs. So why it is that's the example I gave, right? For based on different regions, I can have my own ID generated, but my one unique ID is same. For example, how many of you guys know UAN? Anyone worked here before? Or straight out of college? So you worked here before. You have a PF number. The PF number is tagged to UAN, Universal Account Number. Your PAN number is only one. Your UAN number is also only one. But you can have multiple PF numbers. You work in one company. That one company can have a PF. Either can close the account or continue account in different company. When you go for different company, you can carry the last company's PF number or you can create your own PF number. So just because I have some 3 PF numbers, I'm not a 3 different person. I'm only one person with different 3 PF number with only one UAN number. So that's how data set will be lying is okay, these numbers are different, so it is with different guy. You have to connect. For example, there's another column called okay, name column, gender column. Once for a lot of things, gender column is not generated by them. Gender columns we can come up with it. But how do we generate a gender column? Let's say there's no gender column, but you have to have a gender column. How can you generate it? What details? Okay, name is there.
Gmail.
Name is there. Gmail ID is also there. Okay, I understand. There's an email called Satya. There's a name called Satya. A name called Tangam. Satya name is like considered as a both male and female name, right? How will you now categorize the gender now? Mobile number is not used for gender. For example, my mobile number cannot be generated because of my gender, right? Yeah, let's say we don't have a passport size photo. Simple thing I'll tell you. If you told a customer name as tags like Mr. Jaya Surya, Mrs. Miss, we can generate it. Huh?
If it isn't tagged,
If it is,
you are saying that if it is tagged with Mr. But if it isn't,
we can't generate it. So one of my problem statement that I faced earlier of career is that which column is dependent on which column. Then I got to know one problem is that gender column is dependent on the name column. Mr. and Mrs. But what if that misses and miss is going opposite way? So Satya as a name is tagged as a male. But when I got to know that Satya is a female and it tagged as a male. So data sets will always lie you. You have to understand, do your due diligence. When fraud happens. Fraud for what? Hey, I mean, you can find the examples and short it up, but you cannot find a solution for this. If at all you go to a mode that I need to have a solution for this, the EDA will never hit. Find the problems, then talk about the solutions with the concerned people. Let's say you found an issue with the finance team. You just keep on searching. You don't have finance knowledge. You only have a preparing domain knowledge. Those guys have 20 years of experience. So what you can do? You found an issue. Go to them and talk to them. This is the issue I found. This could be the reason for this issue. That's it. Your job is. They will give you the solution. Anything else? So hackathon is kind of it's a problem statement that I generated and gave it to you guys. It has some 7 or 8 data sets. I've given you some 10 to 20 questions. Try to solve them. It will be interesting once you rate the data from one to another. Okay. Any questions? Any questions as of now? No questions?
So EDA must and should be, what, must and should raise the question, or if the data is completely perfect, what's the scenario?
You just give insights. That's
So there is no work of EDA.
no. But in order to find a perfect data, you need to do a EDA to find it's a perfect data or not, right?
Like, we can say some data will be completely perfect. We don't need the EDA.
No, that's what I'm saying, right? EDA is not a step. Whether like in order to find a data is perfect, how do you find a data that is perfect?
Is there any alternate way with the same EDA, like something like opponent or anything?
Python, PySpark, SQL, Python. Either you can use Python, either you can use SQL, either you can use Power BI. But EDA is not a tool specific. EDA is a concept. Like how data visualization is a concept. It's not a Power BI is a tool, Tableau is a tool, right? For example, cricket is a concept. T20 is a game format. Test is a game format. But what we play? Cricket. 6 overs per ball. If you eat out of 6, the buck is 6. Same like EDA is a concept, not the tool. There's no operand for EDA, right? There's no operand for EDA. It's a tool. Sorry, it's not a tool. It's a concept. Any question? I think I spent more time, but a lot of you guys are feeling bored. Okay, I'll stop it up here. Okay. Any feedback on the sessions? Any feedback on a session? This could have gone well. This is what I expected, but you didn't even touch on it. How was this is your first session on EDA? Or what are the other sessions you guys have?
Thanks.
Stats, okay. So I touched up on stats. I didn't say that. I think I went beyond what you guys have learned in stats. The correlations, covariance, mutual aid, probability, and everything. So when you guys get that topics, you will understand why I talk about it. Any doubts as a, or any feedback that what is your feedback on a session? Huh?
Exploratory.
How was the session? Anything could have been better? Okay, then I'll wrap it up. I'll be available offline to answer. Okay.